Hi and welcome. I'm trying to learn history. Today we'll train you of Amiens, and after we've done it, we're gonna do wrist training. And if you participate in my wrist training, then it's at your own risk. And we're talking about war. Now we had the end of the beginning of the talks. The preliminary agreement was signed, and between France and Britain, it was Hawkesbury of Britain and Otto from French, the two persons, and we said a few things about who got what. News of the signing was greeted across Europe with joy. The celebrations of peace, the pamphlets, poems and odes proliferated in French, English, German and other languages. Actors happily depicted the treaty at dinner theatres, vaudeville and the legitimate state. In Britain there were illuminations and fireworks. Peace, it was thought in Britain, would lead to the withdrawal of the income tax imposed by Pitt, the Prime Minister, a reduction of grain prices and a revival of markets. Now, final negotiations. In November 1801, Cornwallis was sent to France with plenipotentiary powers to negotiate a final agreement. He had plenipotentiary powers. The expectation among the British populace that peace was at hand, but enormous pressure on Cornwallis, something that Bonaparte realized and capitalized on. The expectation among the British populace that peace was at hand put enormous pressure on Cornwallis, something that Bonaparte realized and capitalized on. Now, Cornwallis was sent to France to negotiate, and he had plenipotentiary power. Not just one word, plenipotentiary, he had plenty potential. He had all the power to negotiate to a final agreement, but the British populace, some people, were very much pressuring that he should come to an agreement. And that meant for Napoleon that he knew the other one has to come to a deal. And he could basically demand whatever he wanted. And he could capitalize on it. The French negotiators, Napoleon's brother Joseph, as well as Talleyrand, constantly shifted their positions, leaving Cornwallis to right. I feel it as the most unpleasant circumstance attending this unpleasant business that, after I have obtained his acquaintance on any point, I can have no confidence that it is finally settled and that he will not recede from it in our next conversation. That is a great quote. I think we're going to do it in quadrilogy and learn. Okay. Now, Napoleon knew that he could demand basically whatever he wanted because Cornwallis had to agree, because the British populace was pressuring him to agree. And they were shifting always. When they had agreed on something, they shifted their demands. And that brought Cornwallis to write down wherever it was. No. I feel it as the most unpleasant circumstance attending this unpleasant business that, after I have obtained his acquaintance of any point, I can have no confidence that it is finally settled, that he will not recede from it in our next conversation. The Batavian Republic, whose economy depended on trade, that had been ruined by the war, appointed Rutger Jan Schimmelpenninck its ambassador to France to represent it in the peace negotiations. Okay, there was a Batavian Republic, I don't know where it is, and they were ruined by the war in their economy, and so they appointed Rutger Jan Schimmelpenninck as ambassador to France. He arrived in Amiens on the 9th December, so Amiens is a place. And the 9th December he arrived there. And the Dutch role in the negotiations was marked by a lack of respect on the part of the French, so the French wasn't respecting the Dutch people, who thought of them as vanquished and conquered. But it was a quote. Vanquished and conquered, it was a quote in quote. So it's here. Vanquished and conquered, client whose present government owned them everything. Okay. The Republic of the Batavian Republic seems to be maybe somewhere in the Netherlands? Whatever. Possibly it has nothing to do with it. The Batavian Republic is somewhere, and the Dutch people were also there, and they were disrespected by the French because they thought of them as vanquished and conquered, and that they had to owe them everything. Schimmelpenninck and Cornwallis negotiated agreements on the status of Ceylon, which was to remain British, the Cape Colony, which was to be returned to the Dutch, but to be open to all, and the indemnification of a deposit House of Orange, Nassau, for its losses. Indemnification. Indemnification. Indemnificar. I don't get it, what it means. Indemnification of a House of Orange, Nassau, for its losses. However, Joseph did not, so the brother of Napoleon, Joseph did not immediately agree to their terms, presumably needed to consult with the first consul on the matter. Okay, what was now? Britain could keep Ceylon, and the Cape Colony got back to the Netherlands, but it would be open to all. And the indemnification of a deposed House of Orange, Nassau, for its losses, some royal thing, and Orange, that would be in the Netherlands, and Nassau, that is, I don't know, but I think that would be more Holy Roman Empire, I don't know it, or some royalty. However, Joseph did not immediately agree to the terms, presumably needed to consult the first consul on the matter. In January 1802, the whole article is so beautiful. I'm not reading, that's my problem. I have to stop now, I don't have time, but I just want to read on. Not just because of the facts, but because it's written so nice. In January 1802, Napoleon traveled to Lyon to accept the presidency of the Italian Republic, a nominally independent client republic that covered northern Italy and had been established in 1797. That act violated the Treaty of Luneville, in which Napoleon agreed to guarantee the independence of the Italian and other client republics. He also continued to support French General Pierre Auguerreau's reactionary coup d'état of 18th September 1801 in the Batavian Republic and its new constitution that was ratified by a sham election and brought the Republic into closer alignment with its dominant partner. Now we're just going to stop here. We're going to do it the next time. Now, if you were here for history, then go directly to the next part of history. We will do now the wrist training. If you participate in the wrist training, then it's a very high risk. Hold the still stand, arms next to us, and we bring fists down and up. And that is the spotlight. Next exercise, the flashlight. Fist in to the inside. And to the outside. We're having 3 rules. The first rule is that we stop immediately as soon as there's pain. The second rule is that we are going only as fast as we can go with a little bit of effort. Next exercise, the magician. And the third rule is that we're not overdoing it. If you want to take a break, do it. We have quite a lot of exercise. Next exercise, the pancake flipper. That hands it open up, close up. Last time. And now with the T-Rex in the morning, flat hands and bring them up and down. And now we're doing the crab anxious to a fever. You can skip this exercise. Arm next to us, hand onto a fist, bring the fist down into flexion, press a bit against it. Now pull a bit from the outside, press a bit from the top, and from the and that over the other side, fist down into flexion, press a bit against it, pull a bit from the outside, press a bit from the top, and next exercise, the T-Rex and the chip. If you do it without a tennis ball, just make a strong fist. If you are doing it with the tennis ball, then press with moderate force onto it. And again. Please, again. and switch, and again, release, and again, release, and the last time. Next exercise. The cautious big bang. Fingertips of one hand on top of the fingernails of your right hand, and press a bit, and then open slowly, and close it slowly. And we're switching. And also. Alright, now, next exercise. What is it? Let's do field takes this new set fist director. Fist, and open, and close. Again, open, close. The last time. And branding open. Now the triangular castle attack. Both hands the fists out and bring them to the inside. And go up. To the outside. And down. And to the inside. And now backwards. Down. To the outside. And up. And also quadrangular castle attack. Next exercise is, let's just do the bicycle bridge. Flat hands. Bend the middle knuckles. And open again. Again, flat hands. Bend the middle knuckles. Open again. One more time. Bend the knuckles. Open again. Now you can skip the next exercise. The frog kissing with water temperature. Arms next to us. And flat fingers down. And strong fists up. Again, flat fingers down. And up. Again, down. And up. And last time down. And up. And now we do a claw. Flat hands and make claws. Hold it. Now. Again, claws. Hold it. Open. Last time. Close. Now. Next exercise. Take the arms in with strong fists into flexion. Now out extension flat fingers. Again in strong fists flexion. Out extension flat fingers. In strong fists flexion. And last time out extension flat fingers. But we're ending again. Now the ice X flat hand. Bend it into knuckles and press on all 4 fingers with moderate force. And open again. Upper hand, bend it into knuckles, and press on all 4 fingers. And open again. Last exercise, the unfolding rocker boosters. Long arms, strong fists. Long arms, strong fists, and bring these fists into flexion. Now extension of the wrists and flat fingers. Again, inside strong fists flexion. And outside extension flat fingers. Inside strong fist flexion again. And outside. And last round. Inside strong fist flexion. And outside extension flat fingers. And again. And now come with moderate pressure over the middle part of the lower arm. We want to relax the extension to the toe, which lies here. And now on the other. And that was the wrist training. I thank you very much and have a nice time.